Hey, Define Yourselfer. I am Chris Mitchell, the Confident Autistic. I'm a late diagnosed autistic adult and a certified confidence life coach. Here on my YouTube channel, I share videos that will empower you to start living your confident autistic life, as well as videos about my journey as a late diagnosed autistic adult. In this video, I'm going to share 6 sensory signs of autism in adults. And stay tuned to the end of the video for a free resource for late diagnosed autistic adults. Now let's get started. The first of 6 sensory signs of autism in adults is maybe a very picky eater with few preferred foods. This is so me. I'm extremely picky eater. I will only eat certain foods. Have a very few list of foods that I would like to eat. A very limited selection. And a lot of foods I won't eat, and not because of texture or anything, but because I don't like fruits and vegetables. I don't like eating things that are green. I don't like green. No green. And and I'm not that wild about orange or anything that you might find in a salad. I don't like that. The only fruit or vegetables that I will eat are apples, including the little apple pies like you get at McDonald's or the Hostess apple pies. I will also eat pumpkin pie. I love pumpkin pie. And potatoes, and particular potatoes. I will eat a baked potato. I will eat mashed potatoes. I will eat French fries. I will eat potato chips only if they are Pringles. Those are the only kind of potatoes that I will eat. So I am a very picky eater. I am very selective about what I eat and very few choices. In fact, my wife has gotten used to this over the years. So when we say, well, let's go out and eat, she says, you pick the place to eat. Because no matter where you want to eat, because you're a fussy eater, I can find something there that I will enjoy eating. So she always lets me pick where we go and eat because I'm such a picky eater. May struggle with noises, touching, or sensory input. This again is me, and maybe you as well. I have a horrible time with noises in crowded situations, even in my own home. I get sensory overwhelm or overload from noise. My wife, who I mentioned in other videos, is battling stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. She has a TV on 24 hours a day. That helps her kind of block out the pain she's having. And I don't begrudge her for that. I get that. And my mom, who lives with us, she's older. She'll kill me for saying this, but she's 85. And she has a TV on 24 hours a day because she's retired, and it helps with some um, tinnitus that she has in her ears. So we have 2 TVs on the house 24 hours a day. It drives me batty. When we go out in public and there's a lot of crowd and noise going on around me, I will get overwhelmed and I will appear to be confused or disoriented. And it is a struggle. And what I've done is 2 things I've learned to do with this. One, I have some blue headphones, wireless headphones with Bluetooth, and I will listen to calming music or just, some of my favorite music, like music from the 1980s, comedy records like Weird Al Yankovic, or contemporary Christian music to kind of block out the noise and help me self-regulate. The other thing I found that has helped me in noisy environments, let's say we're at a noisy restaurant, my wife and I are, if my wife engages me in a conversation where it's just her and me talking back and forth, I'm able to block out most of that background noise, and it helps with me not having sensory overload. I'm also not a fan of touching. I don't like people touching me. Generally speaking, I don't. Uh, there's a few exceptions, but generally speaking, I don't like being touched. Don't like it at all. I'm okay with haircuts. People have asked me, do you have a problem with people touching you for a haircut? No, haircuts do not bother me. They don't. For some reason, I'm cool with that. But people, I used to know this guy that when he talked to me, like to constantly touch me when he was talking to me, and I, after a while, I lost it. I really blew up in his face. I feel a little bit bad about that, and I probably could have handled it better. But I don't like being touched. Now that was before one of my additional disabilities, my physical disability, and now that I get around with a rollator or a scooter or a wheelchair, people are less likely to want to touch me. But I still really don't like being touched. may seek out squeezing or hugs when overwhelmed or upset. Now, that's kind of the opposite of what we just talked about struggling with sensory input like touching. But yes, there are times that when I'm really stressed out, I don't really care for squeezing, but I do like hugs. But for certain people, i.e., my wife, I don't mind my wife holding my hand or giving me a hug, especially when I'm stressed out. I like that. But otherwise, I'm not. I don't care for squeezing. I'm not a roll of Charmin toilet paper. So anyone my age will get that joke. Anyway, I'm just not a big fan of being squeezed, but I do like being hugged when I'm feeling overwhelmed or when I'm upset. It does comfort me. But yeah, generally speaking, I'm not a big fan of that. But if you also a person um, that seeks out squeezing or being hugged when overwhelmed or upset, that might be a sign that you are an adult on the autism spectrum. Before I get to the last three sensory signs of autism in adults, please take a moment to help me grow this channel by liking and sharing this video. And if you like the content I post to the channel, please subscribe to this channel. And when you subscribe, don't forget to ring the bell to be notified when I post new videos or when I go live on the channel. Now, here are the last three sensory signs of autism in adults. You may chew, rub, or tap certain materials obsessively. Now, for me, I have a blue windbreaker jacket, and inside of it has mesh lining. And what really comforts me is I will have my shirt off and I'll put on that jacket and just feel that sensation of that mesh lining against my skin. And I love doing that. I would do that when I have trouble sleeping at night. It kind of helps me calm down and regulate. I love doing that. That's probably my favorite uh, sensory input sensation that I obsess over. I love that jacket. I've had that jacket for over 20 years, and I don't think they make that kind of jacket anymore. So I'm going to be grieving when that jacket um, comes to the end of its life cycle, and I can't find a replacement one. But that's probably the favorite thing I enjoy to, well, in my case, rub. The material I enjoy to rub obsessively. Anything I enjoy chewing obsessively. I do like to chew on my fingers a little bit, and I do have a chew necklace I showed in another video that I like doing, but generally I think the one that really resonates with me here is the rubbing of that inner lining of that mesh jacket. I love doing that. May struggle to process visual or auditory information. So if you have trouble when someone's talking to you, you're looking at a lot of stuff, you have trouble processing it, this may be a sign. Now, for me, I do have both. If I'm in a store, even here at the house, we have a lot of clutter here. We're going to do a video on that later. Boy, are we. We have, there's a lot of stimulation, a lot of stuff around me. I get overwhelmed and I have trouble processing everything I see. If I go to a store, my wife will send me in the store. This really happened. She was not feeling well. So I went up to the store. I'm going to get you some crackers. You want crackers? What kind of crackers you want? She told me what she wanted. I got to the store. There is hundreds of boxes. Well, maybe that's an exaggeration, but there's a wide selection of cracker boxes. And I was about to have a meltdown in the store, and then I had a brilliant idea. I pulled up my cell phone. I called my wife. I grabbed the clerk in the aisle who was stocking, and I said, "My wife wants some crackers. She's going to tell you which one she wants. Will you go get it for me?" And I handed him the phone. He looked a little frightened, but it did work. But yeah, and I also struggle with auditory information. There are times when people are talking to me, and this could explain my academic, well, part of my academic problems in school. But auditory information, it does take me a while to process it and understand it. Some simple things, yeah, more complex, it takes me a little bit longer to get that. And when you're in a lecture in a college class, sometimes that professor is just flinging stuff at you at warp speed, and you just have so much trouble keeping up with it. And that's one of the things I do struggle with at times, is processing auditory information. If it's too much coming to me at one time, and especially if I'm being overwhelmed by other issues like background noise or my other sensory issues. And finally, you may struggle to settle body down enough to sleep. And when I hear this phrase, I'm kind of thinking you're kind of restless, moving around a lot. For me, I struggle with this, but it's not the body as much for me, but my mind. I have so much trouble every single night quieting all the thoughts in my minds and all the stemming vocal verbal communication I'm doing in my mind, scripting that's what I'm looking for in my mind that I'm doing and replaying things from the day or thinking about what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I have so much trouble going to sleep every single night. I do take some melatonin, which is over the counter sleep aid. Check with your doctor before you start doing that, and it does seem to help a little bit, but I have the hardest time going to sleep. It could take me 1, 2, or 3 hours after going to bed before I finally quiet my mind down enough and slow down my body enough for me to go to sleep. Now it is your turn. Share your thoughts on this video either by commenting or emailing me at chris@thechrismitchell.com. Share if any of these sensory signs resonate with you, or if you think I missed one. I want you to know I do read every single comment posted to the channel and every single email that I receive. Until the next video, start living your confident autistic life now by getting 31 affirmations for your confident autistic life, a free resource available at my website, theconfidentautistic.com. Grab it now. Your confident autistic life is waiting for you. And now, here are more videos to help you start living your confident autistic life.